quiet. I know this is vertical. I'm checking with my other vertical lines in the edge of my paper. You draw it the whole way down to the floor. So now I have a door. That vertical edge is really important, and it's actually pretty hard to get. It's a detail that you want to pay very close attention to. Beep, beep. If we want windows in the doors, part of that window is on the wall, so it's moving away from us, which means we use converging lines that go to the vanishing point. And then we will use our vertical lines again. So I'm not necessarily matching the edges of these lines up. Instead, I am going to the corner of one of those lines, making sure my ruler is vertical, and then connecting. Because if I have any extra converging line on there, if I was paying attention to details and drew it light enough first, I am easily able to erase the extra lines. All right, let's draw just a normal window over here. Vanishing point, because this is a converging line, it's moving away from me in space. This is going to be a big window. So let's say I just drew that a little too long. Notice that it's light. So instead of connecting the edges, because I'm noticing that I am no longer parallel, I am going to straighten my ruler out, bump it up against an edge, draw the line, because I can always erase that extra. Always erase the extra. If I want little grates or those like wooden things in your window, I don't know what to call them, line it up with my vanishing point. Here's the middle one. There's the vertical one. Bingo. So that's how you draw a space. Now, if I wanted to draw a form, which is kind of like a space turned inside out, you have the same laws. You've got your horizon line, a vanishing point, and then a series of vertical and horizontal lines that are parallel to the edges of your paper, and of converging lines that we know are parallel to each other in real life, but because this is an illusion, they look like they are meeting at the vanishing point. So here's the cool thing about the horizon line. Depending on where you place your forms, and I'm just going to do boxes, depending on where you place them in relation to the horizon line, let me rephrase that. Where you place your boxes in relation to your horizon line dictates what parts of the box that you see, or whether it looks like you are above, directly in front of, or below your form or box. There we go. Extraneous extra stuff. Get rid of it, and if I was paying attention to details, I would have drawn those lighter. So I'm also going to do a box the whole way above the vanishing point. Check to see that I'm parallel. All right. Now I want to take each one of the corners of my form and I want to draw them out to the vanishing point. I'm going to do this very lightly because I don't want my boxes to look like they are traveling into space forever and ever and ever. I want them to have a back. I'm not going to draw a line from here to the vanishing point. Do you know why? It's because it's behind all of my boxes, right? So now, remember, things look smaller the further away they get, which means this line back here will be shorter than this one, which is why it's so important to make sure your ruler is actually parallel to your vertical lines. and you're not trying to just make the distance equal. Now I'm going to make sure my ruler is parallel to my horizontal lines. Bingo. Right? So you'll see that it looks like we are below the box. For my box on the horizon line, I only have 2 converging lines to draw. Because from these 2 corners, I would be drawing, my box would be transparent, is what it would be. Which means I only need 1 vertical line that is parallel to the rest of my vertical lines to create the back of that box. And this one that is below our vanishing point, take a quick wild guess. Where do you think it's going to look like we're standing? In front of, below, or on top? Starting to push hard with my pencil. I need to relax. There we go. And to create the back of the box, make sure I'm actually parallel with that line. Ta-da! And then I can go ahead and erase all of this extra stuff, and if I did a good job drawing light first, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Ta-da! Alright, so those are forms. We've got space. What if we want a form inside of a space? Easy peasy. Again, why you want to draw light. I've got some dark things in here. So let's say I'm going to draw a box on the floor. I need a vertical line, another vertical line, and I am checking the edges of my paper. I need a horizontal line and another horizontal line for the face of my box. I can erase the stuff that is now behind my box. Get rid of it. And then I'll go lightly. Lightly, lightly. Right there. I did that part hard because I knew I was going to keep it. There. And if I check these guys, I'm going behind the box, which means I'm not going to draw them. There's my box in the hall. We don't have these lines because we're almost directly under the vanishing point, right? If I drew it out here, I would have, let's do a long flat one. I would have an extra line that allows me to see the side of this box. Notice I'm still double checking to make sure I'm lined up with the vanishing point every single time. As you get better at seeing this and sighting, you might not need the ruler, but when we're learning, it is very, very important. It's an excellent tool. Here we go. Now I have some forms in my space, and I would get rid of all that extra stuff. Cool. There it is. So, let's see the vocabulary if you picked it up. We have linear perspective, which is what all of this is. Linear perspective, oh no, you're coming now. Okay. Linear perspective is a set of laws that allow you to create a three-dimensional illusion on a two-dimensional surface. What you need to remember is objects appear smaller as they get further away from you, or as they get closer to the vanishing point. Further away from you, smaller, closer to the vanishing point, smaller. This is 1 point perspective because we only have one vanishing point. There is also 2 and 3 point perspective, and there are other ways to create this illusion of space using color and detail instead of just line. If you want to know about those, talk to me. Vanishing point is a point located on the horizon line where objects seem to get so small they disappear. This is also where all of the converging lines look like they meet. These are all illusions. The horizon line is a horizontal line where the vanishing point rests. A horizontal line is a straight line that moves from left to right. A vertical line is a straight line that moves up and down. A parallel line are lines that will never, ever, ever cross, even if they continued on forever. Your vertical and horizontal lines should, in real life, be parallel to the edges of your paper. And then last, we've got diagonal line, a straight line that moves up and down at the same time as it moves from side to side. And then last, converging line is a diagonal line that travels towards the vanishing point. This is also an illusion because in real life, converging lines are parallel to each other. Think about lines that separate the wall from the ceiling, and they travel into the distance. Only on a two-dimensional surface do these lines look like they cross at the vanishing point. So tomorrow for your bell work, I'm going to be asking you for important details, and I'm also going to be giving you some picture notes so you have step-by-step directions. This is the one for space, and this is the one for form, and you will be pasting those into your logbook. I'll see you tomorrow. This is probably the longest video we'll ever have because there really is a lot of technical information in it. Ciao.